Cathie Wood provides an update on the impending approvals for the Bitcoin ETF, suggesting a potential early decision by January 8. With a bullish forecast, Wood predicts Bitcoin's value as an asset class surging from today's $700 billion to an impressive $20 trillion, representing over a 30-fold increase. This surge would propel Bitcoin's price to over $1 million. The SEC is actively reviewing multiple ETF applications, and BlackRock's influential role fuels optimism for the approval of at least one Bitcoin spot ETF in the near future. If realized, this milestone would mark a historic moment eagerly anticipated by the Bitcoin community for well over a decade. In her interview, ARK Invest CEO Cathie Wood underscores the decentralized and transparent nature of the Bitcoin network, making manipulation highly unlikely.
We think in the crypto space, for example, there are three revolutions taking place: a money revolution, a financial services revolution, and a digital asset property rights revolution. And they're all big. The biggest one, though, is the money revolution. That's Bitcoin, because it's the first global, digital, decentralized, private, no government oversight, rules-based, critical monetary system in history. We think that's a $20 trillion idea by 2030. And right now, I believe Bitcoin is valued in the marketplace at roughly 700 billion, something around there. So that's a very big idea. And many people in the developed world don't understand how big it is because they are not growing up or living in an emerging market, which is going through hyperinflation and which is destroying purchasing power and wealth. So it's really taking root there. With the exception of the regional banking crisis, and something very unusual happened during the regional banking crisis to Bitcoin and to other crypto assets. Typically, Bitcoin and crypto generally are risk-on assets. You know, they tend to do very well in an overall bullish environment. What happened during the regional bank crisis, we had the regional bank index here in the United States imploding. We had banks going bankrupt, and Bitcoin went up from 19,000 up nearly 50%. And we thought, wow, this is proof positive that Bitcoin is also a risk-off asset. What does that mean? It means there's no counterparty risk, unlike in the banking system. We've got a very decentralized, transparent network. You can see all the activity taking place by IP address, no counterparty risk. So a very big idea. Now, artificial intelligence has taken a lot of the oxygen out of the room in terms of discussions out there. AI is the biggest catalyst to all of the innovation taking place out there right now. So we have centered our research and investing around 5 major innovation platforms. They are robotics, energy storage, artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, and multi-omics sequencing in the life science space. We have a scoring system that measures which technologies are the biggest catalysts to the accelerated rate of growth of other innovations. In other words, there are convergences taking place between and among technologies. AI is the biggest catalyst. It scores, top of the heap. And we think that every company will have to harness it or lose out competitively, either cost structure wise or new products and services wise. The other side of this is trying to figure out who are going to be the biggest beneficiaries of this absolute boom in innovation. And we think the biggest opportunity out there in the next 5 to 10 years is autonomous taxi platforms. Many people call them robo-taxis. And we think that could scale from essentially nothing today to an $8 to $10 trillion revenue globally, including China, in the next 5 to 10 years. And I know a lot of people say, no way. You see Cruise Automation or Cruise here in the United States, owned by GM, had to basically shut down its autonomous, and GM's pulling away. This often happens with new innovations, and you see players who should stay in the market pulling out, just saying this is never going to happen. And then all of a sudden, it happens and they're not there.
Cathie Wood addresses the widespread anticipation surrounding the Bitcoin ETF, emphasizing its significance to investors who highlight the importance of digital wallets. The crypto community is anxiously awaiting further developments, recognizing the potential impact of both analyses and the imminent SEC decision on the Bitcoin ETF. These events are expected to wield substantial influence on the market's direction in the coming days and weeks.
We think Tesla is the biggest, performing the biggest AI project in the world. And we think it's in the pole position here in the United States to get what will be a winner-take-most opportunity in the robotaxi space. And the interesting thing about that is that will redefine how people think about Tesla. Right now, they think about it as an electric vehicle manufacturer. That's a low-margin business. It's in the gross margin category. It's some players are as low as 10 or single digits in China. And we think Tesla will get on the EV side to a 30% gross margin. If autonomous is the next big play here, then that's a SaaS model, software as a service model. And the gross margins there are in the 80% plus. It will redefine what Tesla is doing completely. And so Tesla is doing what Apple did in redefining the wireless space. It developed its own chip, the only cell phone manufacturer to design its own chip. And today, it's number one in the smartphone market, computer in your pocket. The others did not define the market that way. Tesla's doing the same thing, only company to design its own chip, and it is redefining the mobility market into autonomous mobility. Technology is collapsing. If you look at artificial intelligence, AI training costs, they're dropping 70% per year. And just to put some color into that, if ChatGPT if that model had been developed in 2015, 5 years before it actually was, it would have cost about $500 million to develop it. In 2020, when it was developed, it cost only $4.5 million. Today, it would cost $200,000 or less, and the costs continue to fall. So the other thing that's happening with AI in particular is we're talking about large language models and natural language processing. All of us can do that. All of us speak natural languages. So we all could become prompt engineers if we just prep a bit and use platforms like Replit to help us program. Replit does 80% of the work with artificial intelligence itself. So I think access is going to increase. And this network of VCs funding, the companies in the Valley, that is going to be an old model. There are innovation centers springing up around the world. We moved to St. Petersburg, Florida, 2 years ago because we saw that it was a fertile place for innovation. And we wanted to make a difference and attract tech companies there. And that is happening. It's happening all over the US. It's happening around the world. When I visit the world, there's such an appetite to learn about innovation. And policymakers understand if they don't do something about this, they're going to be losing out competitively and leaving high value add positions to other countries. So we're seeing, interestingly, regulatory arbitrage taking place. To give an example, blockchain technology. The US, from a regulatory point of view, has been terrible. The EU has been much better in terms of clear regulations, as opposed to the US, all muddled and confused. So a lot of talent has moved into Europe, and actually some of the products they're building, they won't even let US users use, because we live in this regulatory regime. So I think there's going to be regulatory competition, and kudos to Europe for being much clearer in that way. Europe is, though, very complicated. This is why we entered the market with a partner. The different languages, the nuances and regulations in the different countries. There may be, EU regulation, but then there's country by country. And then, of course, very importantly, relationships. So there's a lot to overcome. But again, the barriers to entry are dropping.
Cathie Wood observes the inflow of real money into the market, highlighting the heightened significance of the crypto market. She underscores that institutional investors are now steering the price of cryptocurrencies, foretelling substantial gains over the next 3 months. Wood asserts that this trend reinforces Bitcoin's enduring relevance as both an asset and a hedge against currency devaluation. She anticipates Bitcoin continuing its parabolic run into the 2024 halving. Throughout the year, Wood has closely monitored legislative developments in the crypto space, signaling a growing interest in the sector. Despite potential challenges due to political opposition, Wood advises companies in her portfolio to make substantial investments now to seize significant growth potential. She estimates that ARK's focus on technological advancement is valued at about 7 to 8 trillion, representing less than 10% of global equities markets. With emerging markets increasingly relying on digital currency, Wood believes decentralized finance will take precedence, displacing traditional financial services companies and offering lower rates to savers and higher rates to borrowers. Share your thoughts on Cathie Wood's insights into the current financial market by commenting below. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.